gotten COVID.
Oh yeah, I got COVID. Whoops.
But try this one first.
It looks yucky. Today we have Dr. Song talk about Chinese medicine. How you can, after you get COVID, make some soup and Chinese tea to make your throat feel better and less dry. Oh, we didn't tell you. You've gotten COVID.
Oh yeah, I got COVID. Whoops. The main point of this vlog is to say I finally got COVID too.
And she had the best week in the room, in her bedroom, watching the projector, having bed and breakfast in bed, and dinner in bed, and lunch in bed, and had snacks, just in case her throat wasn't dry enough.
Well, basically my symptoms weren't that severe, thank God. So I actually had a pretty good quarantine in our room. It's really good. Anyway, so my mom recommended a few teas I can make and I wanted to show you guys, especially for those living abroad or watching this having no idea what the hell I'm making. Just follow the ingredients and my recipe and this would be something really easy for you guys to make. This is level 1, difficulty level 1. So there's like 10 stars. This is like 1 out of 10 stars. So this tea has 3 ingredients. This is English name is monk fruit. This is dried monk fruit. You can get it at the wet market. It comes like as a whole and you just cut it in half. Monk fruit is good for your lungs and it boosts your immunity. In a lot of Chinese soups, they will use monk fruit. Jason absolutely hates the taste, but it's really not that bad. It's got this like
sour,
natural sweet taste.
not like sweet and sour, just like sour.
Yeah, it's got a very natural sweet taste. It's so sweet sometimes it almost tastes artificial. This is tangerine peel, and what tangerine peel is good for is if you have a dry throat, a dry mouth, if you have a cough, especially one of those really mucousy, phlegmy ones, it clears up the phlegm in your system. So this is actually really good, and you can actually put this in your tea every day. It's actually good for your immunity as well. This is actually licorice. In Cantonese, it's gum chou. Gum chou is also very good for if you have inflammation in your mouth, if you have ulcers, dry throat, clearing out your phlegm. So all these ingredients are basically good for if you have a cough. So for those who've had COVID and still suffering from dry throat, coughs, this is good for you. So this monk fruit tea, all you have to do is in boiling water, put all the ingredients in, use about 4 to 5 bowls of water and boil it for 30 minutes. But if you'd like the taste to be a little bit stronger, you can actually boil it for 45 minutes. It's completely up to you. The longer you boil it, the taste will be stronger and more concentrated. This tea is no more difficult than the first one. It's just got more ingredients, which makes it maybe a little bit more inconvenient to buy and putting the ingredients together. But otherwise, it's very simple. Just follow my ingredient list and you should be fine. So it's got dried pear, which is basically slices of pear but dried. And the reason why we use dried pear is it can keep for longer, and also because it's been sun-dried, it's less cold for the body. This is lily bulb. Lily bulb is good for those who are suffering from insomnia, those who have a cough, and those who get a little bit anxious and stressed out. This is good for de-stressing as well, so that's lily bulb. Then we also have Chuanbei. So Chuanbei is another part of a flower, okay, and it's famous cough. So if you have heard of Chuanbei Pei-Pa Gou, this is the main ingredients for that cough medicine. And then it also has dried sea coconut, little flakes like this. Dried sea coconut is good for chesty coughs. If you have a lot of phlegm, it's good for inflammation in your chest or your throat, and it also helps you with your cough as well. And then there is this called mak dong. Mak dong is good for those who have a dry mouth, a dry throat, and cough. So this in English is a Dwarf Lilyturf. A lot of these English names are like so difficult. I don't understand. And also you can add a little bit of rock sugar. Rock sugar is good as it's very nourishing and it's moisturizing for your throat. So all these ingredients here are good for your chest, good for your throat, and good for nourishing your body and your lungs. So this dried pear, dried sea coconut, and Chuanbei tea, put all ingredients into a pot, 4 to 5 bowls of water, and just boil it for 30 minutes. The last one I'm going to show you is a soup. You can have this soup with pork or without pork. Without pork, it's basically completely vegan because it's all made with Chinese soup ingredients or herbal ingredients. First of all, we have a very common ingredient. This is the lotus seed. So the lotus seed, you need to buy ones without the core. So what it is without the core is to open up and make sure there's no core inside. Okay, so I'm going to ask Jason to check that for me. Thanks, my assistant is very handy. It's good for calming. It's also great for people who are tired. It's relaxing. You basically add this into your soup ingredients throughout the year, and it's good for people of all ages. So it's also got the lily bulb, which I mentioned before, and I won't go into it again. So with this soup, we're going to use fresh pear. Fresh pear has just a sweeter taste, and also it's more juicy. At the same time, fresh pear is a little bit cold for your body, so you must add ginger as well to balance out the heat. Pear is good for your throat, it's good for your skin, and it's very nourishing, so it's a very good soup ingredient. It's also a fruit that many people like to just eat by itself. In Cantonese soup, we always use it as a soup ingredient as well. And this is called sa sum and yok jok. So when you buy it, it comes together as a duo. This is sa sum, and this is called the Solomon seal. Both sa sum and yok jok is very good for reducing cough, clearing out your lungs, clearing the phlegm, for people who have a dry throat, a dry mouth. So this is all very nourishing for your lungs and your mouth and your throat. Great. So this is a soup. If you like, you can add pork to it, which will give it a fresher and maybe a more savory taste. If you don't want to put pork in, you can just make it by itself, and it's actually got a sweeter note, and you can add salt at the end to balance the flavors out afterwards. I have to cut up the pear. What we do is we wash the pear and we leave the skin, but we have to take out the core because the core will leave a little sour aftertaste to the soup, and we don't want that. So with this soup, what you need to do is use cold water, put the slices of ginger in and bring it to boil with the ginger, and then you add all the other ingredients in.
In any particular order?
No particular order, except one thing. If you like to kind of like be able to eat the lily bulb, because it's kind of like got a very flaky pastry kind of texture, if you like to eat it, you can put this in last so it still keeps in check when you boil it.
I got COVID mid-year, so what's it called? No, brain fog.
Yeah, you didn't suffer from brain fog.
I don't think I have any lingering problems with COVID.
No.
But what I did get at Christmas was
Big present.
actually repeated trips to you know where and vomiting. It was horrible. So stuff that's going to boost my immune system is good.
Mm-hmm. These drinks are actually very nourishing for your body and your voice, and we do use our voice quite a lot. You know, when we're hosting, or like sometimes when I'm recording a program, etc., etc. So I have to look after my voice. Try the monk fruit tea first. It's not that bad. It's
horrible
quite light.
stuff.
I take one to work every week now, and my voice has gotten
I
a
go
lot
to the
better.
loo standing up. It's different folks with different strokes with different folks. I want that one.
Now try this one first.
But try this one first.
It looks yucky. Not even. It smells like Chuanbei. I still like the taste of the monk fruit. It's like kind of sweet and then sour, and the sour isn't very sour.
There's no sourness.
Oh, it's gum. I just don't like it.
There's a little bitter aftertaste.
Exactly,
with the
whatever it is,
sweetness.
I don't like
But
it.
it's not like Chinese medicine. And this is actually really good. This is one of the most original and simple go-to teas that
It's kind
I've
of
had since I was really
a
young.
weird Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper, but not that one.
Like a little flat,
Like cherry Coke.
but flat with bitter taste.
So what we can do is add a little salt to bring out the sweetness of the pears.
Very light. The ginger taste is actually quite strong.
Oh, it smells like ginger tea. Oh, that's one.
Yeah, this one is very apparently a sweet type of tea. This is very mild and very bland.
You know.
Yeah. All of you out there, happy Chinese New Year.
Health and happiness. Monk fruit is nice. I I just don't like it.